Hey everyone, Sarah Jean here. I wanted to shoot a quick little video today of my traveler's notebook and showing you my almost complete sort of art journal, junk journal, smash book. I see a lot of people in different Facebook groups sort of wondering about how to get started, or I guess like beginners art journaling. I am not a journaler by trade. I've always wanted to be a journaler. I've always wanted to have, these big leather volumes filled with my words of wisdom that have been written by candlelight with a fountain pen, and I'm not good at it. I collected journals for years and years and years, and I would write a few pages in them and then hate what I wrote. I would get rid of them. I would rip out the pages. It's never worked. It wasn't until recently when I discovered field notes and sort of letting go of my preconceived notions of what a journal was that I was finally successful at it. So I just wanted to share that. I wanted to share some of the techniques I've discovered that I've been using. I didn't come up with any of this stuff on my own. If you have any questions, look up YouTube videos. It's how I picked up and have learned everything that I've incorporated in here so far. So this is my traveler's notebook. It's made by Cody. If you saw the last video, his info is in the info spot. I have one field notes in here right now because I like using one as a journal, and it's probably about 2 to 3 times as fat as it was originally because I've put so much fun stuff into it. I won't really go through the setup because it's basically the same as it was last time. I just wanted to actually flip through my actual journal pages and show you what I've done. And this will be the last video that you see me one-handed because I have a tripod coming in the mail. And hopefully this is a good shot because I started watching my last shot of it and I must have said 8,000 times. So I am trying very hard not to say that word. So we open it up, and I still have some little photos tucked in here and some doodads in my pockets, just for my on-the-go stuff. Nothing's really changed with that. This is the field notes I've been using. I've been using it for just over 2 weeks. Today is June 1st. I'll be starting my new one, which also has a planner aspect in it. So I will probably do a video of that when I'm all finished with it. I just wanted to show you my progression of this book. These pages are quite thin. And in the beginning, I would just, with my fingers and some really inexpensive craft acrylic paint, smear some color, add some washi doodle, and journal. And I did that for a few pages. This one is just like distress ink stains. You could use any type of ink you wanted. You could even use like ink pads and then add water, anything. Just to get some color down, I added the owl and I journaled. This is where it gets a little weird. I don't like this page at all. For some reason I had gesso and gel medium confused. Gesso is a white acrylic sort of paint that you can use to strengthen a page, to cover up something you don't like, to add texture to a page, and then you add things over on it. Whereas a gel medium you can get in gloss or matte, and it's used as a glue and as a sealant. So I don't like this page, I don't like how it turned out, but this was me discovering what I was doing and what was working. Also, you'll see that I have quite a bit of different watercolor techniques in this. I discovered that you can take water-soluble markers and draw with them and just get a paintbrush and some water, add water to it, and it gives you this really neat, really pretty watercolor effect. So I've discovered a lot of fun, easy tips over the last couple of weeks. These pages are the same, just, took my finger and smeared some acrylic paint, nothing big. This I did a little bit of jelly printing, journaled over, and this is just ink and a doodle. It wasn't until really that I got here that it's sort of like a light bulb went off and I figured it out. I'm sure I'm not the only person, but I have that sort of white blank page staring at me phobia. I tend to not be able to write on it. I don't want to ruin it. So I have a hard time with that, and I've discovered using this little journal that if I pre-set up a couple of pages in advance with the gesso, because it does strengthen it, and I've been using a lot of water on these poor little books, a lot of watercolors, a lot of acrylic. They've just been soaked, a lot of inks. And if you use this first, I haven't had any pages tear or rip or anything like that. Show through a little bit, but that doesn't really matter because then I'm just putting a coat of another color on the other side. So it's worked out really, really, really nicely for me. I've gone through and I usually go a couple days in advance and put the white gesso down first, and then like this one I just smeared. If you take acrylic paint in a couple of different colors and you just add a couple of drops, and then you take a regular garden variety diaper wipe, you can smear the paint around. It makes it really nice and thin, and it sort of blends the colors and gives you a really, really great background to then work upon. So I had that with like the blues and the pinks, and then I had watercolors a couple days later, and I went and added this sort of desert thing. Doing that and discovering that has been the best thing for my journaling. You can see I also put little tidbits of things in here. This is off a stationery pad. I've got a little camera thing. These are some little watercolor flowers I threw on there. I use lots of photos. I really, really, really love putting photos into my little journals. For my photos, I'm using an LG Pocket Photo Printer. It works great because it syncs up to your phone, so the photos you're printing are the quality of your cell phone, which is pretty good these days. And then they print out on these little 2x3 photos. These are fantastic. I love using these in my journal. This page was great. I originally had these dark blues and purples on it, and I'd written these song lyrics, and then going back to it the next day, I just didn't really like it. It was really heavy and really dark, and everything else in my journal was sort of light and airy. And so I used the white gesso, coated it all, re-added some more acrylic paint on top of it, and wrote something else, and you can even see like the ghosted words through it, and I liked how that came out. I like that things are almost messy on purpose because then I don't feel that tension about putting something down on the page. This was a label off of a wine bottle that I got last week when we were hanging out with some friends. The same time, this was off of a beer. I thought the Pinup Girl was really cool. I threw that in there. This was off of some crafty things I got a couple of weeks ago, and I really liked the tag, so I put it in there. I sort of like just shoving daily tidbits into these. And presetting the pages with colors really, really, really helped me. This was a little bit of a jelly print I did, and then a couple days later, I drew the flower and I did the journaling. Same thing with this. I had acrylic paint down. I'd gone to the post office and gotten the new Circus stamps, and so I threw the label in from that. I already had this picture of this little snail that I put in, the stamp, everything folds out. This was just some watercolor paint that I threw on top of the gesso and let dry, and then a couple days later I went in and I did the flowers, and I did a bit of journaling to celebrate my Angelus life. So if anyone out there is having the troubles that I was with trying to get started, that was an owl I cut out from a pen pal envelope. I highly suggest going through and pre-setting up some of your pages, just slapping some color down there, whatever colors you are in the mood for at that time, putting them down and then journaling on top. It's been really, really, really helpful. Watercolors, acrylics with white beads, acrylics with a paintbrush, acrylics with your fingers, ink, it all works really, really, really well. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave the comments, or go look up other YouTube videos. Like I said, I didn't make up any of this on my own. None of these were my original ideas necessarily. I've learned from others. Anyways, I hope you're all having a fantastic Sunday, and I will be making another video on June's journal, hopefully soon. Okay, have an amazing day. Bye.